Not many people can solve a quadratic. First things first, we have to understand what a quadratic is. A quadratic will have the shape on a graph that looks very similar to if you were throwing a ball in the air and it would fall back down to the ground. However, naturally, it's a positive form, which looks like a smiley face, which looks like this. Now, these different numbers that are in front of the quadratic part will determine what this shape looks like. Now, if someone's saying that you're trying to solve it on a graph that is labeled X and Y like this, that you would have seen, you're trying to essentially find where this graph cuts through the x-axis here, where y equals 0. So how can we do this? First things first, we write out our expression here. And first step is we have to make sure 0 is on one side and our expression is on the other. Then we have to find two numbers that multiply together to equal 10 and two numbers that times together to equal the middle part, which is 7. Now these numbers, in this case, are going to be a 5 and a 2. And that happens to work. You have to do some thinking to find those numbers, but once you do, you can put them in brackets like this. And then this will equal 0, since 5 times 2 is 10, and 5 plus 2 is 7. Now in this case, in order for this to equal 0, two things have to be true. Either one of these has to be 0, or the other one has to be 0. In order for this to be true, we solve for x plus 5 equals 0, which means that x would equal minus 5, or x plus 2 would equal 0, meaning x would equal minus 2. So these would be our two solutions for x, or our two roots, which means our quadratic would look something like this, and it would cross through the graph at minus 2 and minus 5.